Hello, crypto world. Welcome to the Chart Historian. My name is Justin, and on this channel, I delve deep into crypto charts, exploring chart structures, fractals, and patterns. We are looking at the Dow Jones, and for those of you who use Fibonacci retracements, this is likely a scary scenario. It's almost at the top. I can only imagine the FUD that is going around regarding this. Now, is this something to be worried about? I'd say it's something to be aware of. I am not too worried, and here's my reasoning. If you were to copy and paste this structure right here, over here, of course, you would have to match it for the timing, height, and depth of this part of the chart. And the reason why you have to do that is whenever a fractal repeats, the timing, the height, and the depth, those parts will remain original to the new iteration of the fractal, even though the basic idea copies over. So once you adjust it for today's timing, height, and depth, you see that it is a good match. However, the structure is not complete yet. There is still this part of the chart. Now, I don't know the timing, the height, the depth of this unrealized portion. This is merely a guess. But as you can see, there is still more to go. Let's zoom in here a little more. Okay, so here we are zoomed in. Now, whether or not this touches the 4.236, I don't know. As you can see, it is mighty close. I believe this idea is going to play out. Now, it could play out at a different scale than what I have drawn here. It could be something like this, or the way I have it right now, which is something more like this. I believe there's a good chance it's playing out on a larger time frame like this. Time will tell, but either way, there is still more of this structure to go. Now, once it gets over here, this will be the decline if it continues to follow. Now, this is the smaller of the two structures that the Dow Jones is following. Okay, so if we go back to the very beginning of the chart, we can see that this chart starts back in 1896. If we focus on this run-up to the 1929 crash, which is right here, there are 6 basic structures that make up this run-up to the 1929 peak. After that comes a substantial crash. This crash ends in 1932. If we were to take these structures, these boxes, and copy and paste it over on this part of the chart that is after 1932, of course, I've had to match the timing, height, and depth that took place over here onto this part of the chart. So in other words, this structure here played out much larger over here. So I had to match this structure to this timing, height, and depth. But as you can see, once we look over this, it is a very good match. Now, mind you, I really did take the time to match each part of these structures to the timing, height, and depth of this chart. However, it is played out incredibly well. This was the smaller structure. Now, I'm on a month candle, so I'm very zoomed out. This was the structure we just looked at, and I have that structure copy and pasted onto today's chart as well. As you can see, they both are telling the same story for this part of the chart right here. As you can also see, the crashes are actually almost identical to each other. So this gray one was the crash that took place over here in 2020, and the red one was the crash that took place in 1929. So what we can observe from this is that this type of structure produces this type of decline. So here we are zoomed in a little closer. I have the Fibonacci retracements. This is from 2007 down to the trough down here, which took place in 2009. This was the time that I got into technical analysis. And by the way, any of these pullbacks can be more extreme than what I have placed on the chart, as well as any of the moves up. But if it does continue at this pace, and it is playing out at this scale, this peak could potentially be somewhere in September. We'll have to see how that really, again, plays out. This is speculation. All that to say, despite being very close to the 4.236 extension, I do not believe the sky is falling. Now, it is important to note that crypto is correlated to the Dow Jones. So when the Dow Jones does well, so does crypto. But there is a distinction between following and correlating. In the past, I may have used the word follow. A better description is a correlation. And the reason why I say that is because all the crypto charts that I follow, they have repetitive structures. These structures have never just abandoned their structures to follow another chart's structure. That is nonsensical, the way I look at it. The type of technical analysis I do, that just does not ring true. It does not make sense. It would be a complete big, this time is different. We're getting rid of all history to conform to this narrative. That just doesn't make any sense on my end. Now, how could this play out in this short amount of time? Well, the way I believe something like this would play out is Bitcoin or XRP would have to complete its structure in this same time, or this turns down and Bitcoin or XRP keeps going, although I don't think that is as likely to happen just because of the historical correlation between the Dow Jones and crypto. So it is my belief that all of these charts that I follow will likely continue to follow. It won't be the end of history. We will see a peak at some point in the future. I don't know when it will be, but the Dow Jones will likely continue to follow something similar to this, and Bitcoin will continue to follow its repetitive structure. XRP will continue to follow its repetitive structure. Casper will continue to follow its repetitive structure. Anyways, I just thought this was an important time to make a video on the Dow Jones since it is getting very close to the 4.236 extension. I hope this video was helpful. If you found it helpful, it'd be much appreciated if you hit that thumbs up button. I'm not a financial advisor. This should not be considered financial advice. But if you do enjoy this type of technical analysis and you're not a subscriber yet, I recommend hitting that subscribe button. I'll continue to follow up on this chart as it continues to develop. Despite this being close to the 4.236, it is my belief we still have some sunny days ahead of us. This is not the end of the world. I'm so glad you caught this video. I hope you catch my next one. Have a great day, and bye for now.